Joy is justice. This is what slow food is. Joy is good food, understanding where our food comes from.
To watch a kid pick a raspberry and eat it, and it might be the first time that child has made contact with a plant, there's a lot of great joy when I see that happen.
Joy around food brings people together.
I don't know, it kind of took my breath away and it made me feel fantastic that you're not working alone.
When those that don't have access to food do have access to food, understanding the history of a food type, who made it, how it was preserved, that is joyful. What's injustice is when those stories are not told. Welcome, everyone. Are we all here? Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was muted. Okay.
Hi.
Welcome, everyone, to our Slow Food Chef series. My name is Laura Luciano. I am on the board for Slow Food East End. I'm the governor of New York State for Slow Food, and I'm on the board for Slow Food USA. We Are Slow Food is a not-for-profit international grassroots movement that was founded by Carlo Petrini about 30 years ago in Italy. We are in 160 countries with 104 local chapters across the nation with the common mission of good, clean, and fair food for all. Everything we do around the world takes a little bit of a different shape depending on the culture, place, and the context of the state of the world. But the mission is always the same. We revive endangered foods that provide important biodiversity to our food system and are working hard at the intersections of food, race, class, gender, and climate. And when we work in harmony like this, we bring together joy and justice, which is our two slow food pillars that brings together a resilient ecosystem where we can build and uphold a great diversity of people, cultures, places, foods, and tastes. And here on the East End of Long Island, we have one of the largest chapters across the country. And what makes our chapter so successful is the partnerships, volunteers, members like some of you on this webinar today, and those of you that are basically partnering with us in this chef series. So thank you very much. Without further ado, I am going to pass it on to Penny, our Slow Food Chair.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. Can you hear me? I think you probably don't even need your speaker on to hear me. I'm so loud. But I'm so excited to be hosting this event tonight. And through the miracle of technology and Zoom, I am going to pretend I am sitting right in Ned's kitchen and waiting for this delicious meal to be cooked. But I want to thank you for joining us tonight. For some of you, this may be a new experience, but the Chef Series is a monthly series that we do featuring one of our local chefs, and it's a fundraiser for Slow Food East End. Like all of us, in so many ways, we had to pivot what we were doing when the pandemic hit. And I was just thinking back to this time 2 years ago, we were all together for our wonderful movable feast and sampling all these great chefs' food and lovely wine and having a silent auction and really just having a great time. To last year, where we were all set to go, and at the last minute, we were forced and made the decision to cancel. So what can we do? What can we do to get you all engaged? What could we do to support our community during this pandemic? What can we do to continue in good, clean, and fair, which is the tenets of slow food? And the Chef Series is just one of the things that we came up with, and it's been quite fun. So if you're new to this Chef Series, I hope you enjoy. If you're new to Slow Food East End, I hope that after tonight, you're going to say, oh, geez, I want to become a member, because in membership is our strength. And having these fundraisers, like I said, will continue to support the Resilience Grants program that we started last year, which help local food producers, oyster farmers, restaurants, people in need that needed a little help to get through the pandemic, as well as giving to food pantries, as well as to continue to support our school gardens, because hooray, yes, they are coming back. And also to support our new program, which is called Flower Power. And I'm really, really excited about Flower Power. And when I say Flower Power, it's FLOUR. Flower Power, it's the yeast we can do. I expect, oh, you're all unmuted. Otherwise, I know I would have heard you all laugh. So Flower Power is a bread making opportunity for all of our members, because people who are in need don't necessarily get that delicious aroma feel of a fresh baked bread. So we are going to reach out to our slow food community, our members, to help us make this a reality for people in need. So all I'm going to say is stay tuned on April 18th. We are going to, I've come up with so many funny bread puns. We are going to unroll our Flower Power initiative and get you all involved. So thank you for participating. Thank you for being part of our slow food community. And tonight I am delighted. I am so grateful to have Ned Baldwin be a part of tonight. We are filming from Ned's Kitchen, which is around the corner from his restaurant downtown Manhattan. But even though Ned is in the city, he has a lot of local ties to the North Fork. He gets his inspiration for what he does at Houseman's restaurant right from our backyard. How lucky are we? With all the great produce and fish. And we're going to be highlighting North Fork seafood and a really great guy, Jermaine Owens, in a little bit. We are making this a total North Fork affair. And I'm happy to say that Ned is able to join us. And he authored this fabulous book. Now, for those of you who may know me, I am one of those crazy chicken ladies. I see another crazy chicken lady online. Hi, Cookie. We are crazy chicken ladies, and his book is all about eggs. Not all about, but a big part is how to dress an egg. Surprising and simple ways to cook dinner. What more could we want at this time of year? So I encourage you all to go to your local bookseller and purchase the book. It's fabulous. It's lovely. You're going to learn so much about it. And we're going to give you an opportunity at the end of our demo to possibly win one of his books. And I think maybe we could even get Ned to send you a little letter and you could put it in there, say, oh, look, the chef signed it for me. And we'll have a trivia question and we'll ask and we'll see who the winner is. So I am really excited to get tonight going. Oh, one more thing. For those of you who live on the North Fork, how lucky are those of us who live on the North Fork? But Ned does a dinner service that you actually pick up these fabulous pre-made, ready to go, almost ready to go meals. And he makes a delivery every Friday at Latham's, right in East Marion. So if you don't feel like cooking and you want a great chef to make these fabulous meals for you, you could certainly take part in his really homemade, delicious meal delivery service. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Ned in his kitchen. Oh, so we're going to keep you all on mute. If any of you have a question, go to the chat box, ask questions, and we will ask the chef as he goes along. And yeah, I'm very excited. So Ned, thank you so much. And take it away to Ned's Kitchen.
Thanks, Peggy. I'm really grateful to Slow Foodies Den for having me. And excited to be with you guys for the hour. I'm sitting next to me is Peter Kaminsky. He wrote this cookbook with me that Peggy was talking about, and he's going to join us for the hour and kind of keep me in line as I'm trying to cook and talk at the same time. Yeah, so Peggy, you sort of said it, but I think the first question is, why is Slow Foodies Den in Lower Manhattan talking about the North Fork. And so I guess I just wanted to say a couple of words. I have a Houseman restaurant right around the corner from where we are now on the same block. And I have spent the last 16 years going back and forth between Orient Village and New York City. And even though I'm from Seattle, have fallen deeply in love with the North Fork, both what happens on the farms there and the community there, and probably more than anything, being on the water there. So fishing and just dealing with the weather and the tides and the whole 9 yards out there. So because of the pandemic, the restaurant has, at first it closed for a couple of months. And then, once I sort of, I was really concerned about keeping people safe, my employees and the people who I was feeding or wasn't feeding at the time. And it occurred to me that I could make packaged meal kits for people. That was the only way I could think that I would feel comfortable feeding people and have all these parameters and rules for myself about the way I would make it. And so I started that first out of my kitchen in Orient, sold something like 80 orders to people. And the next week, because I only have a regular kitchen and regular refrigerator there, I thought, well, I've got a restaurant in the city, might as well use that. So I came back and I was prepping, and one of my neighbors, this neighborhood was kind of a ghost town, a little bit scary. One of my neighbors walked by and said, it's my husband's birthday, and could you cook us lunch? And so I put a table outside, and we weren't allowed to actually serve on plates with glass or anything. So I made him 2 hamburgers and paper plates, and that was kind of the beginning. And since then, that was late May, we've kind of, this meal kit thing has taken off. And we've been alternately open or closed, depending on what the rules are with dining room. And of course, the weather, serving in ridiculous conditions in the cold outside. We're small, like our just the amount of business we're doing is small. And I have gone from being in my career in the kitchen, a line cook, a sous chef, chef cuisine, restaurant owner and executive chef, and now I'm a waiter. So, and I'm a waiter every day that we're open. And on the days we're not open, I'm working on meal kits. So I can't be in the North Fork right now. And that sounds like I'm woe is me, and that's not exactly how I feel at all. Actually, I'm really excited about what's going on with the restaurant, but that's, I guess, a long-winded way of saying that's why Slow Food East End is in my kitchen here in Manhattan, and I'm grateful to you guys for being here. So maybe we should talk about what we're cooking and how that relates to the book.
Sure.
The title of the book is How to Dress an Egg. We definitely labored long and hard over what to name this damn book, and it's a little misleading. Ultimately, it's not a book that is specifically about egg cooking, although what we are going to do today is an egg recipe from the book. It's more about the dressing it up that is, I guess, the point. What the book does in 20 chapters is each chapter, it shows you a really specific, simple cooking operation that once you master it, can be incredibly useful in an ongoing way in your everyday practice in the kitchen. Practice meaning cooking dinner for your family. And so, something as simple as boiling an egg, which is alternately simple and not simple in my view. Once you grasp how to cook a particular egg, we're going to use 7.5-minute eggs here. And actually, I'm going to start peeling them while I'm talking. That's a fine thing to eat with salt or whatever you want to put on it. But you can dress it up and make it all kinds of stuff. And that's true of a roasted chicken or a piece of cod or, I don't know, whatever, beef.
Yeah, well, I've written a ton of cookbooks, a lot of great chefs. Apart from Ned having just born with a gastronomic talent, the way that he came upon and shared these recipes are pretty damn near unscrew-upable. They're, at base, they're very easy. I think that was your aim in the kitchen as well.
Well, it's funny. There are places where, I mean, we talked about this a lot. There are places where, restaurant cooking is completely useless to home cook. Like, there are plenty of restaurant books out there with techniques and recipes that are extremely screw-upable and just hard to do. And then but some of the stuff that you learn in a restaurant is really, really useful. I mean, for example, when I was a prune, we sold deviled eggs, and we sold them by the 100, and I peeled, thousands of eggs over the time that I worked there. And I learned that you got to peel them in water. Like, if you're standing up here in the air with a dry egg, the shell sticks to the egg. It's really hard to get it off. You're going to tear the white while you're working on it. But if you go in and out of the water while you're peeling, the egg, the shell slides right off. So that's a useful restaurant thing that we talk about in the book.
I was going to say, for the person who's not turning out, 100 eggs or 100 chickens, sometimes you need a little bit of technological help. I found that the greatest aid in getting through this cookbook is my phone. I just say, "Hey Siri, tell me 7.5 minutes." Or 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Your timer is set for 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
Ned, can you tell us how you boiled the egg? Because there are so many, boil the water for 2 minutes, leave it sit for 8. And what's your key to getting that perfectly boiled egg?
Well, that's a great question. So I don't think it matters how you do it, but you got to do it and make a choice and learn how that technique works. So my technique is the eggs go in when the water is at a rolling boil.
Okay.
That's every time. That's how I do it. Now, like we said, egg cooking is simple. Boiling an egg is simple, or I kind of think it's not simple. The nuance part of it is interesting. Like, not every egg is the same size. Not every pot is the same size. Not every stove has the same BTUs. So, which, like, if you drop 6 eggs into a quart and a half of water with a stove that's not very strong, it takes the water a long time to recover up to the boil again. So it's going to take longer to boil an egg, basically, whatever that boiling means. So I don't think that, like, for example, people say a soft boiled egg is 6 minutes. Well, it might be 5 minutes and 45 seconds, and it might be 7 minutes, depending on what's going on. And you kind of have to, I guess this is good for slow food. Like, you got to be really local about how you do it. You got to know what your pot does, and probably do it more than once to get it right. So these eggs are 7.5 minute eggs, and I'm at home. I don't have a big, ice machine with 40 gallons of ice in it. So I put these in for 7.5 minutes. I took them out. I put them in a bowl in the sink, and I ran cold water on them for a minute and a half or something to cool them down, and that's it, basically. Okay. So that 7.5 minute egg in your kitchen, it could be a runny yolk. This is a set yolk. It could be a little bit runny. So you got to know your environment a little bit.
And then what I do is maybe even simpler with your inspiration. I just take the eggs when the timer goes off. I bring the little pot over to I take most of the water out, and I run cold water in. And usually by then I can handle the egg.
Oh, yeah, sure. So this is the simple operation for the egg boiling chapter. This is a 7.5 minute egg. In that chapter, by the way, we have something we call an egg Bible that gives the rough times that we've already talked about, some of a 6 minute egg for runny yolk, 7.5 to 8 really for this type of yolk, which is moist and golden but not fully set, and then 9.5 to 10 minutes for a classic fully hard boiled egg.
So you want the yolk to be a little softer, not necessarily a hard boiled, more of a soft boiled.
This is in between. This is kind of right in the middle between those two. So
where did you get those beautiful eggs from?
I got them around the corner at Houseman restaurant.
Oh, very good.
I have to admit, I cooked them before. These beautiful eggs from Penny arrived shortly before we started. And I guarantee you, I'm going to do a bunch of lovely stuff with them. But I'm afraid the camera's going to be turned off at that point.
Everyone noticed the beautiful color of the eggs.
So the restaurant had been open for like a month or so, and I was reading something or other, don't remember, saw this beautiful picture of a French dish called eggs mayonnaise, eggs mayonnaise, and it's the simplest dish in the whole world. It's just a boiled egg sitting on top of some mayonnaise that you can then dress up however you like. And I was in the process of, I had a bunch of ingredients. I was going to make the mayonnaise, and I was on my way downstairs to where the machine was. I was going to make the mayonnaise in, and I got halfway down the stairs, and I thought, wait a minute, this doesn't need to be that. Came back upstairs, sort of rearranged the ingredients, and came up with this dish. And this is actually it. I was going to use anchovies and capers and garlic and lemon zest and chili flakes in a mayonnaise. And so instead I just chopped it all up and made this sort of hummus, which is a word we've never used. Probably would have been appropriate. We call it, so, and I guess I'll finish by saying this is a dressed egg. So this was born at the restaurant, and you never know what's going to take off, what idea is going to take off. This one we've sold just countless thousands of these since we opened, and this is that. But as Peter and I were talking about what the book was, I realized it doesn't there are a million dressed eggs. It's not one thing. It's just a concept. Take this delicious, perfectly cooked 7.5-minute egg and then dress it up however you like. So I made this one from the recipe that's in the book, but this is home cooking. So we should use the ingredients we have, whatever's laying around. So I did 2 other recipes just before everybody got here, just using stuff that I had in the fridge. So, not everybody, maybe I'm a little bit weird, but I had this in the fridge. This is XO sauce. It's made with abalone. I just got it in Chinatown. It's a little bit spicy. It's like a spicy umami bomb is really what it is. Yeah, that's what's going on here. So, I hardly had to do anything here. I had this, and I had some cilantro, and I just happened to have roasted almonds in the fridge also. Here's the cilantro. So that's that. That's just fast and easy.
It's worth noting, if you're looking for inspiration in your larder or in your kitchen, so all the basic tastes: salt, sugar, acid, sweet, some picante, which isn't actually not a flavor, but I think it is, and umami. Yeah, that's it. Whenever you're stuck, you got stuff that combines those things, you have a dish.
Right. So that's the idea. You can look in your fridge and you can. So also I had, here, let's see if I can find it. I had a jar of anyway, I had a jar of pickled herring. So I made a quick mayonnaise. I didn't really make the mayonnaise. I just had Hellman's in the fridge. So I combined
Serious and before
7.5 minutes. I combined Hellman's and some of the herring and made this sauce, which is it tastes a little bit like a tonnato, if anybody knows what that is.
Like vitello tonnato.
Yeah.
Which is that pureed tuna,
right?
Served on a little scallop of veal.
And then this is the pickled herring.
Oh, Ned, where did we
That
puree the
looks
herring?
exotic.
And then I went around the corner of the restaurant to get the dill. I didn't have that. Pretty much usually only have cilantro in the fridge.
Ned, somebody asked if you ever sous vide an egg.
No,
Okay.
I don't ever sous vide anything.
Okay.
I'm a little
I don't either,
old-fashioned
but it
that
was a
way.
question, so
I-
there you go.
I use that machine to pack our kits because it's really clean. You know, if we use it to pack proteins and other things, but I don't cook with that technique.
Okay.
What you mean is sous vide actually means under pressure. It's the sealing process, not the cooking process.
Right. So I've heard of that, like
I mean, Sean used to do it.
with eggs.
Yeah. Actually, you should put them inside a potato basket. It was very magical.
Huh. So yeah, that's that. So that's a nice easy snack.
Oh, that looks lovely. We wish we could all reach in and just have a little snack of an egg right now.
I wish you could too.
Oh,
And crunch. They put some crunch in this one. People always love crunch. I think it's the first thing you seek out. Your mouth seeks out in tasting a dish.
well, I guess it's very timely with spring and Easter, and I can't even begin to tell you how many dozens of eggs I went through for Passover. So 'tis the season.
So the next thing we're gonna cook is cod. We're gonna poach it, but I think first we're gonna talk to Jermaine. Maybe before we go over to him, I'll just show you. I have a critical part of the process is pre-salting the fish. You can see this one's been salted and this one hasn't, so the fish has become a little more dense and sort of tightened up. So.
So it doesn't fall apart when you put it in the water.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pretty aggressively salt this one in advance of cooking it, and then we can talk to Jermaine about where you catch it, how you cut it, all that good stuff.
Can I ask a quick question?
Ed, I have a question.
Please.
How long before you cook should you salt the fish? How long should it be salted for?
Half hour to several days.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
Does-
Italian, we do bacala, so, you know, I mean, it's a whole other thing.
I usually give it about 2 minutes.
2 hours.
2 hours for the
Yeah.
pan? Okay. Pan or
I mean,
oven?
this, you can see the difference in this one. I think I salted it about an hour ago.
Great.
Does adding all that salt, does that then flavor it so you wouldn't need salt later?
I don't salt it afterwards, but I wouldn't sprinkle salt on it after I cook it. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but some
And
people who
neither
are
would
salt
you.
crazy, like some people just have to put salt on everything, but it sounds like that would be not a good idea. It would be too salty, because you're doing it in advance.
Yes, we're giving it all the salt at once first.
Perfect.
Yeah, the salt shaker won't feel ignored.
Thanks.
Shall we chat with Jermaine?
Let's go over to Jermaine, who is filming right now in Greenport at the Kitchen at Anchor. So Jermaine, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Hi,
There-
Jermaine.
Welcome.
Everybody. How you guys doing?
We're great. We're excited to see what you can do. Jermaine, before you get going, tell us a little bit about who you are and your history on the East End, and I guess your love for fish.
Well, my name is Jermaine. I have a company called Norfolk Seafood. I've been fishing on the East End for about 25, 30 years now. And it's a blessing out here. You got the best of everything. Farms, we got the bay right here. We got Montauk, and just a host of people that I source fish from, if I'm not catching it myself.
And where can we source your fish that you sell?
Online. We are actually currently working on an online platform right now where you can go to our website. We'll have a bunch of fish posted. You can, tell us what you want, the quantity, your address, and we'll deliver it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And we will put that information up in the chat, how people can get in touch with you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we have a codfish here that we sourced freshly from Montauk, just came out of the water. I am gonna give you guys a cut demonstration right now. Get this thing off the bone and show you a little bit of what I do. Everybody ready? Can you see the fish?
Yes, we can.
So I'm gonna do my best so you guys can see this here. Gonna make a cut right along thin here. Need a sharp knife and a little bit of know-how. Take this guy right off the bone. And these fish are an excellent source of omega-3, B12. So it's very good for the body. Okay. Got our first fillet. Right here, beautiful piece of white meat that we all love. And go to the second side. Let me know if I'm going too fast for you guys.
So far, so good.
All right.
Everybody's following along.
Okay. Second side is always a little bit tougher than the first, especially for us left-handed cutters out there.
Jermaine, this is Ned. What's in the pantheon of fish? Like, is cod an easy one to butcher? Is it hard, and why?
Cod is fairly easy. The only difficult part would be going over that rib cage, the rib bone. But basically, I think it's one of the easiest fish to cut. That's swimming in the ocean, really. But that's just me. I got a experience doing this, so. But I think that's the easiest fish for me to fillet. And take the skin off this guy. Like so. Get a nice sharp knife and a continuous push. You get that, that little extra skin on there. And that's really good for frying, as I'm sure Ned knows. Get the skin off this guy.
Hey, Jermaine, do you scale the fish first?
A lot of times I do, if people, prefer the skin on. Like striped bass, people love the skin on the striped bass, so I'll scale a striped bass and fillet it. And it also gives you more flavor, And second fillet, I'm gonna take the bones out, because I'm sure everybody loves a boneless piece of fish.
Jermaine, people are very curious about your gloves.
Oh, the gloves.
Yes.
They actually fit. Latex, just regular gloves that are actually really expensive nowadays since this pandemic started.
I'll bet.
So I'm just finishing up taking the bone out. So we got a nice, beautiful piece of boneless codfish. And and then I just, however the people want it, they might want the whole fillet. They might want me to portion it out for them. So, portion it out. Get it ready for the vacuum sealer.
So that's how you deliver it to people? You seal it and then make the delivery like that?
Yes, yep. Label it, seal it. And, it's just better for these times. People feel a lot more, safe. And, they love that you take care of the fish so much and, you take the time to prepare it, the right way. So.
Absolutely. And it's so local.
It is local. And I love that, So here's that fillet again. Beautiful white, flaky meat, boneless fillet. ready for the table.
Perfect. Jermaine, thank you so much. I think Ned's going to cook up something wonderful and beautiful. And just again, to reiterate, we all could be cooking Jermaine's fish. So his information is posted, and reach out to him. And what could be better than home delivery? That's so great. Jermaine, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having us. Really
Anytime.
appreciate it.
Look forward to doing more things together.
Oh, absolutely. So am I.
Good, good, good. All right, Ned, we're going back to your kitchen.
Cool. I just got to remember a little bit when the pandemic first started, I went out to Orient with my family for a while, and friends were like, "Have you heard of this guy, Jermaine? Heard of this guy?" And I was like, "I don't know." And somebody sent me his phone number, and I texted him, "Hey, do you have any fish?" And he was awesome. He was like, a friend of mine got scallops, and another guy has, I don't even remember this, that, and I can bring it on like Wednesday. And I never heard of this. We're all stuck in our homes, with our families, trying not to go crazy, feeling stressed out. And but he came, and he he had his Venmo set up, and he came and dropped the food on the porch. I mean, this all feels pretty normal to us now, which is insane. That it feels normal, but at the time, he was so smart about it, and it just felt safe. The fish was so fresh and nice, and we knew the provenance, and I just thought it was a cool thing. Made me want to know more about him and get to know him, and I'm grateful that we've gone fishing together now, and I buy fish for the restaurant from him from time to time. So it's kind of a cool thing and a cool beginning in a tough time.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we're gonna use a method that we use in a couple of different ways with fish in the book. We're gonna poach the cod that's been salted, but we're gonna poach it at a very, very low temperature. So I have a pot here where the water's at a little bit lower than a rolling boil, and this salted fish, and I'm gonna shut the heat off, and I'm just gonna drop the fish in the water. And the fish, it's not freezing cold, but it sort of has the effect of putting an ice cube in the water. So boiling water is 212 degrees. I think this fish, I think because I didn't bring a thermometer up here, so we're gonna use this thermometer to know how hot the water is, but I know that the water's dropped to about 170 degrees, something like that. It's 170, 180 degrees, and it's going to continue to drop to 160 and maybe 150 by the time the fish is done cooking. And that's how we're going to do it.
Did you put the kombu in now?
Oh, I forgot the kombu. How about that? Got so excited talking about Jermaine, I forgot the kombu.
This is kelp, dry sea kelp.
Yeah.
And it's real. It's a thing in the world. It's got more umami than anything in the world, and umami isn't that mysterious. You really can't taste it, but your body knows when you're putting it in, and it just makes it's actually the Japanese word for deliciousness. It just makes things more delicious, and this is the way to use it.
So, why are we doing it this way? The reason this preparation came about actually from a friend, an old friend who's a painter, who lives in Norway. He invited me to come visit him there, and we went up to the north of Norway, got in a little rowboat, rowed out, dropped a line in the water with basically rusty hooks on the end, and cod bit the hooks. We brought him up, we brought him back to the place where we were staying. I filleted him, and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna boil this cod." And I was like, "Ugh, gross, boiled cod sounds terrible. Nothing sounds less delicious than boiled cod." And he said, he gave me a pot, and he's like, "Go get some water, from the ocean." So, okay, cool. I went down and got some water from the ocean. And in the meantime, he'd been tidying up, preparing the cod. And he poached it at, I don't know if it was this low a temperature, but it was well below a boil in seawater.
Wow.
And it's so simple and perfect. And the fish was so gorgeous and delicious. I never forgot it. and since have tried to replicate it, and I don't think it's ever going to be as perfect as sitting on the beach in the north of Norway eating this fish
That has a
poached
lot to
away
do
from
with it.
seawater.
Mhm.
Pardon?
I said that has a lot to do with it, sitting on a beach in Norway.
I
Yeah.
think so. It never
How
hurts.
long do you leave
Never
the
hurts.
fish in there poaching?
How long?
Yeah.
Depends on the thickness. This is sort of medium thick, and I think it's going to be about 7 minutes ish.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna tell everybody, I probably made this about 50 times. And I found over the years, people don't cook fish because they think, two reasons. They ruin it by overcooking it, or they think it's gonna make their world smell fishy. This just pretty much always works, and people are quite amazed, and you can add it to your arsenal in the kitchen.
well, it falls into that category I mean, I guess you can screw anything up, but this is pretty hard to screw up because the temperature of the water is so low. If the fish is cooking very slowly, and I think with some things like a perfect medium rare lamb chop or whatever, like you gotta kind of nail that moment. I think the margin of error with this is quite a bit broader.
And I'm not you, so I always test it a little bit. I mean, Ned just knows by pushing it if it's done. I'll try and flake off a piece of a flake from the piece I'm gonna eat. And if it flakes, it's done,
Okay.
I would say. Yes, chef?
So, yeah, sure, you can do it that way. So while that's going, we're gonna make a sauce that goes with it. So these are shallots. I'm not gonna cook them very much. I just want to. Somebody, and it might have even been Julia Child, said this great thing about onions, about taking the violence off of them. I always think of that.
Perfect.
Yeah. So they're not going to be cooked when we're done. They're just going to be softened a little bit.
Have I had this sauce, or is this a today invention?
No, you've had. This is the one that's. This is the one with the 6-minute eggs.
To say the amount of water you got there and the weight of the fish, if you follow those instructions in the book, like proportion for 4 and that much water, this will work. If you have more fish, you're going to need more water. So
Makes sense.
We're almost there. Yeah. Okay. So it's just that much cooking, and I have a lot of oil in there, and the reason is the oil. We're keeping the oil. Obviously, the oil is part of the sauce. Now the oil tastes like shallot, I guess.
Would that work with any other type of fish, the poaching, or?
Yes, and in fact, in the book, we devote a chapter to cooking shrimp, and we use an even gentler version of the same technique that effectively is really steeping.
Okay, obviously we all
I
need to
made
buy the-
striper with it.
obviously we all need to buy the book. So there's a lot to learn.
Don't stop at one. Buy it for your whole family.
Right. Okay, so the other ingredients in this sauce are capers, just a rough chop, salty and sour, exactly. That's it. And a little bit of Dijon mustard. Same thing. Couple squeezes of lemon. And a little bit of chopped herbs. I'm pretty, I like a lot of herbs, and I'm not, I mean, there are moments when I'm like, oh, this really should have tarragon, but I really like an herb cocktail. So this particular herb cocktail is dill, parsley, and tarragon.
Lesson is have a bunch of herbs in your refrigerator and
Yeah, and use what you have. Don't like go out and buy a bunch of parsley if you
yeah.
yeah if you have dill. Add a little bit more of this, and we almost have a dish.
Hey, Chef, what other things have the umami flavor?
Very good question for you. What else has umami?
Well, cooked meat does.
Your tomatoes.
Well, tomatoes is a special case. Tomatoes is a vegetable that has a lot of umami. Don't know why that is. Red wine's got it. Anchovies have it. Parmesan cheese, any aged hard cheese has got it. I think, I mean, I've written about this and studied it. I think the magic is it's your body telling you there's protein that you can handle quick without a lot of effort. And so we evolved to know that's the food that we can eat, the least expenditure of energy. How does that sound, Ned? Yeah, actually have.
For making that up out of nothing.
Yeah. It might be
You actually
On the fly, very good.
Well, I actually met the guy who discovered the taste receptor for umami. People didn't know he had that until about 20 years ago. But you've got them in your palate and you have them in your gut, believe it or not.
Okay, so I made 2 portions. We break it into 3-ounce pieces. 6 ounces is sort of rule of thumb, like a person wants to eat about 6 ounces of protein for dinner. So, but 6-ounce piece of fish is a little bit difficult to handle, and it cooks a little more slowly. So we break it into, I mean, not like we got scale out, but into roughly 3-ounce pieces. And you know, I want this to flake because I want the sauce to go in and around, and we call this in the book a warm salad, warm cod salad. Okay, and because it's Easter and we're dealing with eggs, that's I guess the reason we chose this dish. We use 6-minute eggs with this dish.
You use vinegar capers, right?
I'm agnostic. Sometimes I use salted ones, sometimes I use ones in a brine. These ones are in a brine.
Okay.
So that is a
Milk is soft.
6-minute egg.
6-minute egg, okay.
Yeah. We serve this dish at the restaurant in the spring, and people really like it a lot. Spring in this region in particular is tough. There's, I mean, you know, there's nobody that's selling fresh unless there is, and I hope you'll tell me if they are. Nobody's selling asparagus on Long Island right now,
It's too
except for the IGA. And not even spring onions or leeks or anything. So it feels like spring, but it's still winter vegetables right now. And the weather's warming up and the people are outside, you're wearing less clothes, and you really want to feel like it's spring, but you can't eat spring food. So it's, if you want to be honest about serving local vegetables, I find as a chef, this is one of the most trying times of the year.
Well, I'm just going to say that for those of us, again, I can't speak for the South Fork, but for those of us on the North Fork, we are very, very fortunate to have the farm in Southold. And I want to thank Ira and Sonomi for giving us some lovely greens for tonight. And they're pretty much open all the time on the weekends, and you can get some fabulous greens there.
That's true. And God, I love those greens.
Love those.
And I'm so glad that they're here. Houseman was born as a pop-up in Orient Village. We did 2013, we did a bunch of dinners at, originally it was going to be behind Latham's farm stand. That's a story we don't need to go into, but it ended up being in Pocatuck Hall, which was all for the best ultimately. And over 6 dinners, I think, I don't know how many of them, most of them, I served this particular mix from KK's farm. And I mean, the lettuces are so sweet, and they were always so nice to give me, like, I would call I mean, we had a plant, but of course I'd call and say, okay, you know, can I come pick them up? And they go cut them, like, you know, they were so beautifully fresh.
Nothing fresher than that.
Oh my God. Yeah. So amazing. I felt so blessed that they were work with me on that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so this, I'm looking for my, best I did with my herbs. I want to do a comic strip called The Absent-Minded Chef, and I'm going to be the star.
Your
That's
hands are
gonna be
attached to your
another
wrist.
episode, everyone. Hold on. We'll do that.
Oh, here we go. Great. So in the book, there's a chapter devoted to salads, and really the first lesson in the whole chapter is handle your lettuces with your hands and be very gentle, be very thorough, and taste. Just taste, taste, taste. Salad, you know, takes a long time to cook a roast, and you're going to salt it, and then you're going to put it in a place with a closed door, and then you're going to eat it when it comes out. It's slow. Salad is very, very fast, and it's about little adjustments as you go. So, and it's only a couple of things. It's oil, it's vinegar, and it's salt. I mean, every salad has a different recipe, but that's good, all of them. The core of a salad is acidity, a little bit of fat, and salt. So, you know, I learned this. I worked at Kraft for a little while, and really got a intense course in how to make perfect, delicious salads. So that's it. Treat it gently, eat it while you make it, and make fine adjustments.
Those greens were just cut today. Thank you very much, Sonali, for cutting those greens for us.
Yeah, great. I guess what I didn't add is these lettuces are wonderful. Well, they really don't need anything, but I like to throw mountains of herbs at them. And so the salad that we have in the book, that we recommend using lettuces like this, or these in particular, if you are blessed enough to have the opportunity to use them. I think we make a proportion of something like 25 or 30% herbs to lettuces.
Wow, that's
So
delicious.
it's pretty stunning experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a question.
And you make it right before you serve it, right?
Yeah, right away.
Don't let it sit.
Make it and eat it.
I have a question for you and Jermaine. What was the last fishing trip? Actually, maybe two questions. What was the last fishing trip that you both went on? And where did you catch cod? Was it in Montauk?
The last cod trip I actually went on was at a Cinnamon Riches. And it was great. Caught a lot of codfish, big codfish, deep water. But the last fishing trip me and Ned went on, we went black fishing, and we had a ton of, you know.
It was a clinic. We stood right next to each other. I caught 3 fish. None of them were very big, and you caught like 16, and they were all huge. I'm not,
you know, blackfish is my thing, man. I love, you know, and I'm in the black community down there, so they know me. They know my rod, you know.
It was humbling and kind of thrilling at the same time.
It was awesome.
Jermaine, you want to tell them exactly where we were?
No.
Oh, you got Al Goldberg on. You can't get
Al
Once fish, you never disclose where you catch them. I've known her, Jermaine, almost 30 years, and we live for that time of season, from October to December.
Absolutely. It is my favorite time of year. Love it. Love it. And they're not that easy to catch. You know, they're tricky.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen, you remember Betty Rickert, Jermaine?
What's that, sir?
Remember Betty Rickert?
Yes.
Betty Rickert? I watched her make a seasoned fisherman cry.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
This gal was 70 plus. She had gold in her hands. I made a fortune on her that day betting against this guy. Okay. She had like 40 fish, and this is when there were no limits.
Right,
Okay? She had 40 fish. He had like 4.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
what happens. You get on a boat, and that's the way the distribution is.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It's the hook set, I think, and it's feeling where they are when they're biting
On the blackfish or the
on the
cod?
blackfish.
I'm going to change the subject for a minute if I can. Ned, what kind of wine are we serving tonight that goes with that fish?
Well, we have 3. They're all from the North Fork. We have a Pinot Blanc from Liebe, Sauvignon Blanc from Akari, and another Sauvignon Blanc from Bedell.
3 really fine vineyards, if you ask me. Those are amazing wines, and a big thank you to them for donating their wine to us tonight. It's, again, you said the word blessed a few times, and we do feel blessed that we have such wonderful food producers, winemakers, and everybody is so happy to share their bounty. And us foodies from Slow Food are happy to support businesses like that.
True.
I'm putting my glass out because I want a little sip of each. And maybe Ned or Peter, someone could hold up your book so we could get a look at the cover of the book and know what we're all going to be buying and what book you could win. So we are going to ask the trivia question now. And if you noticed the bowl of eggs, they were multicolored. And my question on the eggs is, can any chicken lay any colored egg? And if you put your answer in chat, we will see the first one who gets that question up. Well, we'll pick the answer. So does everybody know? We got the answer from Nancy and Ralph, no. From Ellen Greaves, no. Araucanas lay blue. And from Sunita, yes. So Sunita, I hate to tell you, you know I love you, but no, that's not right. Ellen, Araucanas lay blue. And Nancy and Ralph, the first question is no. Any chicken, or if a chicken lays blue eggs, they're only going to lay blue eggs. If they lay white eggs, they're only going to lay white eggs. So congratulations to Nancy and Ralph on winning this lovely cookbook. And we're excited for you. And how do those delicious wines taste?
Fantastic. I'm drinking I guess we're tasting the Bedell first, and it is crispy and dry, and honestly it would be amazing with the cod.
Wanted to give a little shout out here to a guy I met through Ned, the cartoonist and designer. That's a typeface that he designs, named Gerardo Blumenkrantz. Yeah, Blumenkrantz. He's from Argentina, which is my second country. And he's just crazy and off the wall. And so when you get tired of cooking, you just go to one of the cartoons.
Very nice.
Talented, yes.
That's great. And
you want to maybe take a spin? We made a couple more dishes that we're not going to show you how to make, but they are in the book. We've got them laid out here. We made a roasted broccoli dish that I kind of learned how to make from my kids, who said, please make me a lot of roasted broccoli. And a carrot dish that's been on the menu at the restaurant. It's another example of a dish that works really, a dish and a technique that works really, really well at home as well as in a restaurant.
And those recipes are in the book?
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect. And I think drinking white wine with eggs is also a very acceptable way to go.
Agreed.
Agreed. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time, and it all looks delicious. And talk about local, from the eggs to the fish, to the greens, to the vegetable, to the honey. Yes, there's honey there too.
Oh, yeah, here. That carrot dish has honey on it, and we use this one.
It's pennies.
Oh, which
Little
also comes
shout
from
out to
Penny.
the beekeeper
Amazing.
over here. Thank you. Yep. So it's all great, lovely local food. I really appreciate your time and effort, and everybody's going to be excited to be cooking. Again, I encourage you to pick up Ned's book and Peter's book. It looks really exciting. We're going to learn a lot. And again, stay tuned for April 18th for our rollout of Flower Power. And I also want to tell you that we will be gathering for another one of these wonderful chef series, May 2nd, where we're celebrating Cinco de Mayo. And thank you to Colin Ambrose, who is going to be our chef in resident that day from Estia's Little Kitchen in Sag Harbor. And he has a delightful, exciting menu planned out. I'm happy to say there will be margaritas. I will be there. So it's going to be another great kickoff for another holiday. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate everyone who's been on. Again, this is a fabulous fundraiser. We look forward to doing more. If you're not a member, become a member. Follow us on social media. Check out our website. And I'm excited to have you all part of our Slow Food East End community. So that being said, Laura, anything else to add, or we're good to go?
I just want to say I thought that this was fantastic.
Agreed.
And I want to go fishing. That's all I know. I have a blackfish spot, but I'm not going to reveal it unless someone takes me fishing.
That's a deal.
Tomorrow is the opening of trout season in New York.
Well, there you go. So happy fishing, Jermaine. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone get some local fish from Jermaine.
Yes.
Colin's on there. Colin, we look really forward to May and celebrating Cinco de Mayo and cooking fabulous local food. And it was a great night. We appreciate you all. And I look forward to seeing you April 18th for Flower Power and May 2nd for our next cooking show. Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you, everyone, for
Thank
stopping
you.
by Slow Food. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Guys, thanks for having me.
Everybody.
Good night,
Thank you
Jermaine.
so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
So I didn't tell you,
Bye.
I went to Bronze today to get the sorts.
Wait.
Have a great night, everybody.
Take care.